Give me your power ranking for the Big Ten. At time of recording, again, we're recording this on Monday, September the 29th.
Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State are my 1, 2, 3. I have Penn State ahead of Indiana based on their performance against my number one, and that's it, right? I think their talent level, I believe their talent level on defense, which has been really strong this entire year. They were asked to do a lot against Oregon when the offense wasn't doing anything against the Ducks, and generally held up really well. So I don't think it was on the Penn State defense that they lost that game. So I think Penn State's ceiling, because of their defense, the way they performed against my number one, I have Penn State ahead of Indiana, who struggled to play like a top 3 Big Ten team against Iowa. A decent but very flawed Iowa team because of their offense. So I'm impressed with what Indiana did against Illinois, especially in the wake of Illinois beating USC. But Illinois tried everything they could to give away that USC game at the same time. So I think Indiana at 4, to me, is pretty defensible. If you are positive they're better than Penn State, we will get to see it on the field. Will we not?
We will.
Okay. So do you disagree?
No, I don't. I mean, I did go back and forth on Penn State and Indiana, and I think even on the sheet that I shared with you, I had Indiana over Penn State.
Right.
But I think cooler heads on this side have prevailed a little bit.
Right.
And I'm still inclined to go Penn State. I mean, Penn State, the way that they fought back against Oregon, who might be the best team in the country, could well be the best team in the Big Ten, that was impressive. It really was impressive because, as you know, we were in the stadium. It felt, when they went down 17-3, like they were dead.
Yeah.
So something woke them up and lit a match and got them back into that thing, and they damn near won the game. Penn State deserves some credit for that. So I think by nose we give them the nod over Indiana. But Indiana, for me, is a clear 4th then at that point.
Okay, fair enough. I then go Michigan, Illinois, USC with my next 3.
I agree with that ordering, yeah.
I can't put USC ahead of Illinois, even though I believe the best of USC is better than Illinois. I believe if those two teams played on a neutral field 10 times, USC would probably win 6 or 7 times. But Illinois literally just beat them.
They literally just beat them. And if we are doing a little bit of a look back at this game, I mean, this was back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And USC had the lead late.
Yes.
What was
probably
your reaction?
Too early late. They left
them a little too much time.
Yeah.
Left them a little too much time. This was not exactly a banner showing by the vaunted USC defense, which I had mentioned on, I guess, our previous episode, that they looked a lot better to me. And I've been saying that all year. They didn't look great.
Well, they were also down there like all conference caliber safety and Kamari Ramsey, who I think was out with food poisoning, which, man, you choose something to wake up with or to be held out of a game with, that's about as horrible as it gets, right?
Yes.
They're just like, I'm in no control of my body.
No, so talk about insult to injury.
Feel bad for him. Hope he's able to, he should be able to recover by next week.
When you went back and did the rewatch, though, of Illinois USC, what was your reaction?
Illinois looked a lot more creative on offense, a lot more motion, a lot more like, let's do the boring thing and hit like an open swing pass to, what was it, Fagan for the long touchdown run. We're like, they didn't anticipate that being a 65, 70-yard run or whatever it was, or, catch and run. But they took what was there. Luke Altmaier played a lot more fearlessly, it seemed, against USC. And on the SC side, like, they lost their starting center, I believe, in the first half. They were already down their starting left tackle, and it sort of showed in the run game that they just, over Lincoln Riley's tenure at USC, like, at best, the offensive line results have been up and down. At absolute best. There have been some absolute lows on the offensive line, and I thought Jade Maiava looked good. I thought he was really good. Obviously, Mekhi Lemon looked outstanding.
Yeah.
Up front on defense, USC just isn't ready to compete. They got pushed around by Illinois way too much. And it's a slop factor with USC. The penalties, those big moment penalties, once again, I don't know how many penalties they have in this game.
I got to pull it up, but there were a bunch. Yeah.
They were playing sloppy football. And even if you think Illinois is only okay at home after a bad loss, they're going to be juiced up a little bit. And that USC couldn't win this game, both scoring late and with Illinois turning the ball over. And by the way, credit the USC defense for turning the ball over, but it's just hard to lose a game in which you get 2 red zone turnovers. Yeah. So you're erasing 14 points off the board from Illinois, and Illinois still wins. So, stop me if you've heard this one before, but USC lost an absolutely winnable game on the road because of how sloppily they played late. That's just the story with USC. They have many more games to reverse that this season. But, I don't know, Illinois sort of did more boring things well than USC, and they've been dealing with their own injuries, so you can't use that as an excuse. USC just has to, bounce back and have a very short memory because it's not a short season. There are some definite landmines on the schedule for USC. They have, Nebraska and Michigan and Notre Dame and Oregon. So if you want to avoid 7-5, 8-4, that starts yesterday.
Yeah. 8 penalties, by the way, for those playing along at home. So you've got USC at 7.
Yeah.
My hunch is that since we agreed on that top 7 for the most part, the remaining 11 teams, we're going to have a fair amount of disagreement on. Why don't we start at the very bottom? Okay. UCLA, right?
UCLA.
Second from the bottom, Northwestern?
Purdue.
Okay, yeah. And then Northwestern.
Northwestern's won a game.
Okay.
In the Big Ten, I mean. And then Wisconsin. Yes.
I think that's right, actually.
Is there anything that they've done to merit a higher number?
No.
I have Michigan State here. Not that I think their Boston College win is all that crazy, but I thought they competed really nicely in LA in a weird time spot for them. So I'm going to credit them there.
Okay.
Rutgers above them.
Yep. Maryland next?
No.
Minnesota below Maryland.
Yes. I mean, what has Maryland done this season for you to knock? I mean, their offense hasn't been great, but they've done really well with a young defense, and they've won.
They have won.
I mean, that you gotta give them some credit there. So I have them a little bit higher than you, I think.
That's fair. One of the interesting stats that I pulled when I was going through and looking at just passer grades and things of that nature, because I like to look at that stuff. And again, take some of that stuff with a grain of salt. I mean,
I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah, PFF's been talking up CJ Carr, and they give him a horrible grade. So there's a bit of conflict there, I think, in some of the scores that I see. But one thing that doesn't seem to be in too much conflict is the fact that Drake Lindsey is the highest graded passer in the Big Ten. He's slightly ahead of Dante Moore, Jade Mayava, and he's put the numbers up. He's obviously had a really, really good season. I'm curious to see as the season goes on if that manifests as a big upset at some point along the way, or if Minnesota can kind of get over, a hump or two and get to maybe a different level. But a nice win this past weekend against Rutgers, 31-28 in the 8th and Caliac Manus Bowl.
Yes. No, he's been pretty good. Drake Lindsey's been pretty good. This hasn't been an especially explosive offense. Obviously, dealing with injuries in the backfield doesn't help, but I don't think I'm as high. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you taking Julian Sayin and Dante Moore behind Drake Lindsey?
Probably not.
Damon Williams.
But also,
definitely
better supporting casts.
Also better supporting casts.
All right. So
you've got Maryland.
You've got Maryland ahead of Minnesota.
I've got Maryland ahead of Minnesota. They're winning. Their schedule has not been great, but they're winning, and Minnesota scored 13 points at Cal. And I think Cal's fine, but
they've got a big home game this weekend with Washington traveling cross country.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. All right. So who is next up after Maryland then?
I have Iowa above Maryland right there.
Okay. So if you're going Iowa above Maryland, I'm assuming you've got Washington. I mean, it's just Washington and Nebraska left.
Yes. I have Washington above Iowa, Nebraska above Washington.
Okay.
You score 0 touchdowns at home against the best team, arguably, on your schedule. They have both Ohio State and Oregon. That tells me you have some work to do because the defense isn't there. If you're going to win, it's going to be with offense, and the offense isn't there. So where are we? Iowa was neck and neck with Rutgers, so I think they should be right around Rutgers in the meaty middle of this. That's why I have them there. I still think Washington's ceiling is higher than Iowa's, so I have them there. I thought Nebraska acquitted itself really well against the number 5 team here in Michigan. The offense is improved. I'm still not crazy about it, but it's undoubtedly looks improved, and Dylan Raiola has gotten better. I'm not a Raiola guy.
Now, hold on.
Better.
Pause it right there. Pause
Please.
it right there. You've been taking some arrows about your thoughts on Dylan Raiola.
Yes.
I wanted to give you a chance to clarify where you're coming from with Raiola.
He's got a terrible offensive line, but he also holds on to the ball too long, maybe because he anticipates his offensive line being bad on every snap. They're bad a lot. They're not bad on every snap. And so it's this weird, I don't know, self-fulfilling prophecy sometimes with him that he holds on too long. The receivers are fine. The running back is good. I just think there are too many potentially disastrous throws from him because of like footwork that goes in and out, and had an opportunity at the end of that Michigan game and it just wasn't happening. And there's like this weird combination of insanely impressive arm talent, raw footwork, fear of an offensive line that has let him down a bunch, that I just don't think it's a cocktail I'm ordering at the college football bar right now. And so it's a long season. He has, like, you just watch him play. He's definitely improved from where they were. Sure. But the decision now to like go to Nebraska and look at Matt Rule and say, I trust you to figure out an offensive architecture and vision for me. It's not a great decision. Obviously, I understand his family connection to Nebraska, but it doesn't seem like that's the place to go to and that's the coach to play for if you are looking to become a top flight quarterback. So the best of him is really good. The ups and downs are just not anything that I would have fun with if I were a Nebraska fan. I know they're throwing like numbers at me, like these counting numbers.
All the counting stats, Dan. All the the total yardage. We've graduated.
He's not
past
bad.
That,
I just wouldn't like to have him as my quarterback, given the what you don't know what you're getting. That's barely English. The lack of let's call it the lack of consistency from anything and figuring out how to best use him, and for him to just sort of have a better plan when he's looking at defenses. It's not for me.
Okay, fair. I'm definitely higher on him than you are.
Yeah, it's fine. But USC has an opportunity to move up. Washington has an opportunity to move up. All these teams do. Michigan has an opportunity to fall flat. Absolutely, they do. But that's where I stand with the Big Ten.